Yes, it is that time. The long-awaited video you guys have been asking for. We're going to be talking about SSR units. What's up, everybody? Fortexfiend here, and welcome to another video on SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, where, yes, we're going to talk about SSR units, specifically GACHA SSR units, and which ones are the best. Now, I know that topic is very subjective. Originally, a lot of you were asking for, are you going to give us a tier list? Are you going to give us a tier list? And the answer to that is no, because one, I don't have the bandwidth for a tier list. And truth be told, there's like 100 plus SSR units, not counting the development and the gacha ones put together. And I just don't have the bandwidth or the time to be able to do that. I'm a father of 3 boys. I got work. I got my Muay Thai training. So I got things in life that just prevent me from doing a really long research video for that. So instead, what I'm going to give you guys for this video is we're going to give you the top 10 GACHA SSR units. And I do have some people that I want to shout out and thank. I want to thank my SD Gundam Meisters. That is a Discord role that I have for those who are helping me do research on these units or any kind of videos that I put out, specifically Sylpharians, SCAT, Nub Nuggets, Ponyo, Lazarus, Bulbasaur, and Deity. Thank you to all of you for helping contribute and help put this video together and help get the information out on these specific units and why they are in the top 10 for the GACHA SSR units. Now, some things that I do want to cover before we go into the top 10 list. One, we're not going to be talking about their corresponding pilots or which pilots that you guys should be using for them. I want to leave that up to the player, to the viewer, because this game has so many different combinations of pilots and units and warships. I want you guys to use your creativity and you let us know which pilots you're going to be using with these units. Two, because these are the GACHA SSR units, please, please, please do not go out of your way to chase these units in the gachas if you don't have them. If you don't have these units, there are other SSR units you can use. You could still use the other SSR gacha units that are not mentioned in this video. They're all pretty relevant to each other in our opinion. And also there are the free development SSRs. There's 2 currently right now upon the making of this video for the event that are absolutely insane for free units. So if you don't have the 10 that we mentioned, we highly caution and not recommend you guys to go out of your way to pull in the gacha just for these, because it's a waste of your diamonds and you could be saving for the next banner. But you guys asked for it. You wanted a whole SSR tier list. This is not a tier list, but here we go with the top 10 GACHA SSR units. Starting off with arguably the best one, which is Rising Freedom, who is a supporter type unit. This unit boasts atmospheric combat, which seems to be a rare commodity, although we're seeing more units now with that particular terrain. It does have the shield mechanism. It could transform, giving it versatility in movement. It has a movement range of 5, which is fantastic for a supporter unit. With a weapon range of 1 to 4, it has access to both a defense debuff and a beam debuff. And as we've seen, debuffs that focus on different weapon type damage is very, very powerful. It has the Seed tag, which Seed right now is one of the most relevant content right now in the game because of the event and the new content that we have. So there's plenty of units that you could use in combination when building your squads. And it's also part of the Unstoppable tag. And Unstoppable has units such as Exia off the top of my head that I can think of, which you could definitely run alongside with Rising Freedom. So Rising Freedom arguably is probably going to be taking spot number 1. The rest in this list is going to be subjective. We're going to leave that again to the viewer for those of you that have been playing since launch. But the next one is going to be Raciel. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Is also another supporter type unit. Atmospheric combat, again, that whole air combat thing is great. Has access to the shield mechanism. Movement range 4, not as good as Rising Freedom, but still 4 is good. Weapon range 1 to 4, has a beam debuff 20% and a defense debuff 10%, which is a fantastic combination. Has the Celestial Being tag, so all of you Celestial Being squad users, there you go. This is a fantastic unit for a supporter, and also has the Unstoppable tag. So run this alongside with Exia. Exia attacks, Raciel supports, added damage, fantastic, very, very good unit. Next we have is Barara's Mac Knife, who's another supporter unit. I would have to say the design of this unit kind of confused me. It's like a cross between a Metabot and an Evangelion. Anyways, I'm going off tangent, but that's what it looked like to me. Atmospheric combat, capabilities, movement range 5, Weapon range of 1 to 4, has a physical debuff of 20% and a defense debuff of 10%, and also has that unstoppable tag. So again, use this with Exia or whoever is part of that tag. The reason why I mentioned Exia is because Exia is still considered a meta DPS unit for the UR units. Next is one of our newer support units, an SSR gacha unit, which is Strike Rouge IWSP. This unit boasts atmospheric combat, shield mechanism, move range 5, weapon range 1 to 4, has the special weapon debuff of 20%, which is fantastic, defense debuff of 10%. That combination is extremely powerful because a lot of the more powerful weapon skills for specifically your attacking units will be like a special type of a weapon. It's known as like their nuke skills, so that is great that has that. It has the seed tag, making it relevant for current content, and also has tough as nails tag. And one of the toughest nails URs that you could run this with is the Crossbones Gundam, which is a very, very powerful UR attacking unit if you happen to have access to that particular mobile suit. So Strike Rouge is definitely cool. Love the design. Fantastic unit to have if you have it in your roster. Next, we have the 1.5 Gundam. This one is going to be a defense type or durability type unit. Atmospheric combat. That's great to have. Again, the shield mechanism, movement range 5, which is pretty good for a durability type unit. Normally, they don't have movement flexibility like that. A weapon range 1 to 4 has access to a map attack, so you could attack multiple enemies at once. An attack debuff of 20%, and the one-shot killer tag. And guess who pops into my mind for the one-shot killer tag? Sazabi and our newest UR, which is UR Strike Freedom. So if you're looking for a defensive unit to run alongside those two to protect them, well, here you go. This is the unit right here, and it also has air combat, which is great. Next in our list is Gundam Astray Red Flame Flight Unit, which is another defensive unit. This is another brand new SSR, has access to atmospheric combat. Great move range at 5, weapon range 1 to 3, so not nearly as good in terms of weapon range, but still nothing to scoff at. Has an attack debuff of 15% with the seed tag and also the one-shot killer tag. Very, very good unit, very relevant currently right now in content. And even after the seed content leaves, you could definitely still run this SSR unit alongside like your one-shot killers or your other seed units. Very, very good. Next is the Halthus, which is an attacking type unit boasting atmospheric combat, movement range of 5, weapon range of 1 to 4, a weapon buff of 10%. It has that G generation tag, so there's not a lot of G generation tag units right now. However, Phoenix is in there, and if you're looking to build a G generation tag type of a squad, Halthus could be like one of your main attackers with Phoenix supporting it. Phoenix is a UR, and then it's also part of the unstoppable tag. So if you want to run this alongside Exia, you got 2 unstoppable tag attackers, you know, doing all the damage, and then afterwards your support is supporting them. Great to have. Very good unit. Next, we have Regenerate Gundam, which is an attacker. This one is another brand new SSR that we recently saw in the new banner. This has atmospheric combat when transformed, but that transform capability gives it more flexibility to move depending on the terrain that you're in. It has a movement range of 4, weapon range of 1 to 4, a weapon buff of 10%, has the seed tag, making it relevant for current content, and tough as nails. And again, like I mentioned with tough as nails, I can think of running Crossbones alongside this thing on the same party. So great option for an attacking type unit. Next is Sword Calamity, which is probably my favorite in this list. It's an attacking type unit with the very rare sea terrain capability. So a lot of units are locked out of being able to fight on the sea, but this one isn't. So once we start seeing like sea terrain combat, like more of it, this unit is going to be even more useful. So if you have this unit, build it. It's a really, really strong attacking type unit that has that very rare sea terrain. It has a movement range of 5 with a weapon range of 1 to 4, a weapon buff at 5%, critical at 20%, which critical is, I'm not seeing it too much, but we're going to probably start seeing more of that. And critical damage, from what I understand, when you increase that, critical damage bypasses a lot of like mitigation, at least from previous gacha games that I've played, and I'm pretty sure it works the same way with SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. So having that on this unit is great. It has both the Omni and the Seed tag, and it also has the one-shot killer tag available to it. So very, very good. The sea terrain is really the selling point for me for this unit because there's not a lot of sea terrain capable units at the moment. And then finally, we have the S Gundam. So S Gundam can transform, has the movement range of 5, weapon range of 1 to 4, critical 20%. It has the EF SF UC tag, which a lot of very great UR units have that. So if you're running that particular type of a team with that tag, you can use S Gundam with that, and it also has the one-shot killer tag. And that is going to go ahead and conclude our list for the top 10 Gacha SSR units. Now, obviously, this list will change as more banners come out, as more units come out. If we decide to update this, we might. Something like this does take research, and we want to be able to give you guys concise information when it comes to that. Again, apologies that this is not a tier list. I just don't have the time for that. And honestly, I think tier lists as a whole are very silly when it comes to PvE games, especially a PvE game such as this, where there's just so many options to be creative. And I think when you get too locked into a tier list, you kind of lose that sense of creativity. And I like being creative. Like, I'm having more fun with my free-to-play account using the development units and other units outside of the URs, because it's just so much fun. You know, for me, tier list, I'm going on a tangent again, but I just have to say tier lists for me, where they really matter are live PvP games such as fighting games or FPS shooters. Fighting games in particular, because I used to play fighting games competitively, where you're in a tournament and let's say you're in the character select screen, you got your opponent next to you, you're counter picking whoever they decide to pick. So it's kind of like a mind game. That for me is where tier lists really matter and are really relevant. But for a PvE game, not really. Again, I know some of you love tier lists, and you could love that, but for me, I'm not a big fan of tier lists when it comes to PvE content. But hopefully this top 10 Gacha SSR unit tier list helped you guys out. Thank you again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.